Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse and Measure. If you haven't done so yet, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button down below. All right, so we've been working on building melodies, and let's say you've created some wonderful motifs, you've used some of the tricks to have repetition, but with variation, like sequencing or inversion, or sometimes you just have direct repetition and direct variation. All of these things are your tools for building a great melody. So let's say you've created this great melody and you're very, very happy with it, but you want it to be a song with lyrics. You're not just contented with it just being an instrumental piece. So how do you then go about setting lyrics to a pre-existing melody? And this is quite a conundrum, and it's been an issue for many, many songwriters where they've had these wonderful melodies that that they've developed or were just inspired to write, but they struggle for months and months and sometimes years to find the great lyrics that will go with it. Because if you have a great melody, it can really be sunk by bad lyrics, and you don't want that to happen. You want to protect that melody and make it into something great, give it the full potential that it can. So there's a great stories about this. Probably the most famous one is Yesterday. So Paul McCartney had this dream where this song was in his head. He was sure that it was some song that already existed. He asked, John, he asked George Martin, he asked the other Beatles, what song is this? I've heard this before. And nobody could place it. They said, no, I've never heard that song before. And so once he realized it was his actual original melody, he was very excited because it's, my God, how would you feel if you had just written Yesterday? And of course it came to him in a dream too. Which shows you that if you have a regular songwriting practice, your brain just starts getting in that mode. And it's going to become like a second nature for you to write melodies and come up with beautiful sounding songs. The more you give to it, the more your brain's going to know, oh, that's now the mode that I travel in, and it's going to come much easier for you. I know I've had quite a few of my songs have come to me in dreams, and it's such an amazing thing when that happens. Of course, you have to rush as quickly as you can to get it down. Luckily now we have our phones, our watches. We have very easy ways of recording ideas. Poor Paul, though, he had to just sit at a piano and play it over and over and over again until he had it in his head. And of course, the chords came to him very naturally, too. So he was gifted with his wonderful melody, but what the heck are the lyrics going to be? So for a while, he used Scrambled Eggs. Oh, baby, how I love your legs. So yeah, those aren't quite the lyrics that you'd want for a hit song, or even a song that's as beautiful as Yesterday, to have those kind of throwaway lyrics. So he struggled for this for weeks and weeks until he came up with the lyrics. Well, I want to give you a method that I use when I have melodies that I really, really like, but I don't have the lyrics for yet. And that's something that's really quite simple, something you learned in elementary school, and it's counting syllables. And you can do this even with the sheet music. You can just count the notes. And as I do this, I'll demonstrate, and you'll see the notes down below here, that you can just count however many notes it is, and that will tell you the syllable count. So let's take Yesterday as our example. So the first little idea, the first motif is 1, 2, 3. So I know for that first idea, I need 3 syllables. Now it's up to you what those 3 syllables are going to be. But what I actually will do is I will write on a notebook piece of paper where it has the little, in the columns, each line, I'll put a 3. Whatever number of the syllable that I'll need. And then I'll just draft, I'll brainstorm all kinds of lyrics, what words have 3 syllables in it, what phrases have 3 syllables in it, until I come up something that I like. So he came up with Yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 3 syllables. All right, so the next phrase, it goes like this. Let's count those syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 syllables. So underneath the 3, on my note paper, I would put a 9 so that I would know I need 9 syllables for that, a 9-syllable phrase. Then the next phrase. Let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 again. So 3, 9, 9. 9 syllables for the next line. Next phrase. So let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. So 7. So if I were writing the lyrics for yesterday, the first line would be 3, then I would need 9, then 9, and then 7. And this is something I'll do. If I have a melody that I really, really like, I will count the syllables out, and then I will know that each little phrase needs a certain amount of syllables, and then I can just sit down and just focus on coming up with lines that have that many syllables. Of course, you have to worry about stresses and unstressed syllables. We'll get to that in a different video, but just starting with that is a great exercise and a great way to take a melody that already exists and add some words to it. If you want to try this out as an exercise, you can take a melody that is only an instrumental, maybe from the classical music world or an old hymn, something like that that doesn't have lyrics, or maybe something you don't know the lyrics to, and try to write lyrics to it and just use the syllable count to figure out what works. All right, well, give that a try, and best of luck. Let me know how it goes for you down below in the comments. If you have any breakthroughs or frustrations or further questions, I'd love to address those in future videos. All right, best of luck with your songwriting and your spiritual practice. I'll see you next time.